Oh my god, guys, it's Forest Checkmate. I don't even know what it does. I don't care what it does because we know what it should do. It's the Roach. They reprinted it. I'm so happy I've done this series because it's getting crazy. What's going on, guys? It is your boy Kashino. We got some more cards to go over today. They're not on the website. This is coming straight from the Twitter. Let's get into it. So we got the Dragon Hoard, a 1-cost card with a countdown 20, fanfare enhance 8. If it subtract 10 from this amulet, making it countdown 10, and summon 2 Hell Flame Dragons. Whenever a ally follower comes into play, subtract 1 from this amulet's cost. Last word, summon a Dragon Sphere. Now, I don't think we've seen what a Dragon Sphere is, so once again, I'm gonna have to open the game because this every time. Alright, so this is the Hell Flame Dragon. It is a 4/3 with Rush. So essentially, you're dropping this on turn 1, and only when you enhance 8 do you get the 2 Hell Flame Dragons. I'm pretty sure it's not outside of that. But the main thing is the Dragon Sphere. And the Dragon Sphere is at the end of the turn, transfer all allied followers without ward into Infernal Dragons. And an Infernal Dragon is a 8/8. So it's a big old thing here. So going back to this, so at the end of your turn, this is an amulet that just stays on the field. It can be destroyed. Keep that in mind. Banished, everything like that. It just kind of sits there, right? So at the end of the turn, transform all allied followers without ward into Infernal Dragons. Now, what's crazy about this at the end of the turn, so you can do Storm, as you know, there's the Rush with the 2 Rush things that it gives out. You could do all that stuff. You could do a bunch of little Machinas, you know, anything that's small. This is definitely like a PDK. I think I always say PKP, or I always forget the 3 things that it goes with, but it's definitely for you playing a bunch of minions. And I think the last time we did in part 3 or 4, I don't even know what part this is. I don't know when I upload it. There was another card that was doing a lot of summoning for Machina Dragon. So Machina Dragon with this card looking nuts, just flooding the field and being rewarded for it. And I actually think that playing this at turn 1 is actually not that bad. Waiting till turn 8 seems a long time, but also remember, we're talking about Dragon here. That's not Dragon's turn 8. This is Dragon's, you know, turn 6 maybe, or something of that nature. But even still, I feel like playing this on turn 1 is pretty good. They don't really have that many good turn 1 stuff, and as many minions as you can play. You can play a lot of minions in Dragon, so it's a completely different deck type. But I think this is definitely a good card, and you're going to see some really cool implications with it, especially when they're turning all their things without ward, which is the Storm, the Rushes, just the minion board spam, into 8/8s. A 1/1 turns into an 8/8. So, woo, that's crazy. And to follow that up, we got a Dragon Machina card coming in, a 3/2/3 fanfare. Add an assembly droid to the hand, which is the 1/1 basic Machina card. Now you can also evolve it. Has an evo effect if there are at least 2 Machina cards in hand, which this card's help it does. Deal 3 damage to the enemy, so that can actually go face. So this definitely helps out with the BS of what the other card shows, and it helps out the Machina stuff in general, just having more Machina. So this is pretty good. It would have been great in another tech because I hate Dragon, and now I'm scared that that stupid amulet's going to be summoning 8/8s and I won't have any answers for it. But we play Runecraft, so it's fine. Fire Embrace that, all of them. Fire Embrace multiplied. Oh, this is going to be a crazy meta that this thing is going in. I do like that Steel Rebellion, and then this meta seems to be about the board. It's about focusing on the board and working towards something that's counterable. So I do like that. Next up is going to be Puppet Shock. Whatever. Alright, so Portalcraft is deal 4 damage to an enemy follower. Put a puppet into the hand. This is a nice, usually 3 cost, deal 4 damage. That's kind of like some, what is the Haven, that prism hit thing that does 4 damage. Put a Holy Line Crystal thing in the hand. This is kind of the same thing. The puppet deck just seems by itself really weak, but this is a nice removal. Obviously, if you want some more removal in the deck. I don't know as far as where it fits in the rest of the puppet stuff, unless they give us something that's really good with the puppets, because there's so much puppet generation already. But I feel like there's nothing to go pure puppet, but there's obviously you just mix it in with Lashena, and you know, you just call it a day. So I'm just kind of curious how that's gonna go. Swordcraft giving another spell. I'm scared. Brave Intervention, 4 costs. Put a random Swordcraft follower that costs 2 play points or less from your deck into play, and also deal 4 damage to the enemy follower. I know it's good, and I hate the fact that it's 2 play points or less. It also synergizes with, like, you know, Lysenia, whatever, because, you know, if you, depending on how you groom your deck, Sword has a bunch of these cards, and it sucks that they're getting another one. So now they can pretty much 2 play points. If you'll pretty much know what that's going to be, very likely, and then you also get to clear a minion or deal a decent amount of damage to a minion on the field. So overall, good card. How does it fit into Swordcraft, or will they be able to remove stuff for this card? Depending on, you know, what 2-cost Swordcraft cards are gonna really like shake it up. I really don't know, because I don't like Sword. Next up is the Hoverboard Mercenary. We got a neutral Machina, which is great. This, everyone gets this, this is great. Put a random Machina card from your deck into the hand. This card is copy of 3 immediately in everyone's Machina deck. It's perfect. And the crazy part, let's say, I'll even be more honest, you can actually gear up, and it's a Machina card, so it's a little bit rough. It will get your Machina amulets, your Machina spells, which I don't actually think there's a Machina spell at the moment. But let's say if you're trying to run like a specific Machina, you want to get that specific card, this might be crazy. I was thinking Belphegor, but it said Machina card, because then, like, I was thinking like maybe you can run a bunch of the spells and then just kind of run this and hope you get it. But damn, so it's Machina card, so we'll get Machina amulets, it will get, you know, all the Machinas in your thing. If it had like a cost range, that would also be really strong too. But overall, it's a good card. It helps you get something from your deck into your hand while playing a 1/2, so I don't see why you wouldn't use this in a Machina deck, filling up more Machina, and it's Machina itself. This is going to be amazing, especially for blood. This is going to be definitely a blood card, because they just need the Machinas in the hand. So Momo, so you can throw it out. Momo becomes a giant death slinging god, or you can actually use this to actually draw Momo, because sometimes she just doesn't want to show up. So yeah, overall amazing. Next up, some more Runecraft Machina. So now it's looking good. In the base of Steel Rebellion, it didn't seem like they had enough of it. So now when there's more, a lot of these, like the Delta Cannon specifically, is going to actually be somewhat of a threat. So give your leader the following effect. Whenever you play a Machina card, recover 1 play point. This effect is not stackable and lasts for the rest of the turn. This is nuts. This is probably actually kind of crazy, because whenever you play a Machina card, it doesn't matter if it's a follower or a spell, you will get a play point back. I mean, all of them, there's no 0-cost play point Machina card from what I can understand. But, you know, you're playing Delta Cannon for 1, you're playing, you know, pretty much everything. You're playing the Machina Angel Wing thing for 1, technically. You're playing a lot of cards for 1. You're playing Repair Mode for 0. So it's really, really, really good. This card's, oof, Machina, I still think there's other things that are better, but it is getting a lot of support, and it's looking like it might trump Mysteria if they just really want to like give it some more gusto. But I think we've seen all the legendaries and golds for Rune, so I don't know how much more good it is, but I do want to see this. I will be testing this card out myself. Next up, the Runecraft getting a Electrokitty coming in with the fanfare. If you have 20 cards or less in the deck, deal 2 damage to an enemy. Now, I like cards that do this. It's 2 damage to the enemy. It only costs 2. It's a 2/2 that costs 2. Evolves full stats. Can play it, hit the enemy's face. But it's not a spell, and it has no spell boosting stuff on it. It doesn't have anything to do with Earthright. So, and it just seems like it's really hoping that you kind of do something with it. And its effect is only going to happen. It seems like what they call it. I think there's some cards are like take 2, really good for take 2, because your deck is only like, I think 30 cards, and then like you lose 10 cards, you draw a little bit, and then all of a sudden this card is clearing out minions or hitting the face. So maybe in take 2, but I don't see this in rotation at all. King's Welcome. Put a random commander card from your deck into your hand. That is, if that can't be, that's just... Craft your deck the way you want, and we will reward you for it. So another deck searching. Oh my god, Sword's gonna get like a really well-crafted, oiled machine, and it's gonna be nuts. If you can evolve and have more Evo points than your opponent, subtract 1 from that card's cost. Okay, if I can evolve, so turn 4 or turn 5, you know, depending on if you go first or second. If I can evolve and I have more Evos than my opponent, so especially, okay, so let's say turn 4, right? I can evolve and I have more Evos than my opponent, so subtract 1 from the cost of that card. So it's pretty good, and then obviously later on in the match, it's easy, you know. I wonder actually when you're both at 0, I guess nothing happens, but it doesn't say it doesn't. It'd be interesting to see if it actually works. It doesn't say that the opponent has to be able to evolve as well. It just says that you can, as long as you can evolve and you have more Evo points, because you technically have 0 Evo points when, you know, if you're turn 5 and you're on turn 4, you have 0. So it's very easy. If you get this on turn 4, you play it for 1, you get a commander card, and it reduces the cost by 1. So pretty good. Sword is gonna be annoying, I know it. Oh my god, guys, it's Forest checkmate. I don't even know what it does. I don't care what it does because we know what it should do. It's the Roach. They reprinted it. They reprinted Roach. Holy god. But it's gonna work differently. We all know that. So okay. So gain plus X plus 0. X equals the number of allied Whirlwind Roaches you've played this match. So played this match. Keep that in mind. So this one's working differently. This one you have to play it and then put it back. If X is at least 5 attack, gain Storm. So now there's a little bit more support for just playing him, bring it back to the hand, playing it, bring it back to the hand. Now when he evos at the end of your turn, return this follower to the hand. Now this is actually pretty good, I would have to say, for with Cynthia. So now Evo Forest is getting something even stronger. So Cynthia, you would gear your deck right now to have her as the highest cost card. So first, you're going to play Lisa, Queen of the Forest, right? She's going to give you the Whirlwind Roach, because this one's going to be 1 cost, right? Then, remember, when this thing dies, it gives you your highest, and you're going to run Cynthia. So every turn, like turn 7, well, not every turn, but turn 7, you can play this, you know, Evo it for free, attack. You know, it's going to get a lot of attack, and it's going to bounce back to the hand. And as long as you played at least 5, you can just not keep doing it, right? You can't constantly spam it. But when you do that, boom, you play it for 1, it's going to get that. If it has 5, it gains Storm. Then you're going to have to start running the return cards. So now you'll actually have a reason to run that other big legendary. You can kind of run him. My only issue with running this card, though, is that now you're not getting Cynthia, which I think that he, you know, how is the Whirlwind Roach supposed to Evo without, you know, without Cynthia or you Evoing it yourself? So it looks a little wonky, like it's way more balanced. It's way more balanced because yes, you have to play it. It gains every time you play it. So when you play it, it's just going to be +2. And then you have to, even if you were to play all 3 of them, you wouldn't even gain Storm. So you have to play it and bounce it back to the hand. Play it, bounce it back to the hand. Or play it, Evo it, it'll do it. It will bounce back itself. You have to really strategize how you're using this. And as soon as you play one of it, you let your opponent know exactly what you're doing. So there's counterplay to it. Like, even though in Unlimited people knew what the Roach was, you saw a sequence of cards and you was like, oh, here it goes. In this situation, it's gonna be the same. But at least Evo Forest has a lot more weapons you have to worry about, so you can just kind of tack this on, play it, send it back, and there you can do Nature's Guidance because they just put that back into the meta. So there's a lot of flexibility with it, and then you just have another big hit maybe on the Odin turn. Odin comes out, and I know you can do Exudia, but again, you're focusing on Cynthia, so you're doing this, you drop down this, boom, 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 boom. And I don't know, it looks like it's going to be pretty good. Let's see what else they got. Next up is going to be Shadowcraft Machina, the Mechasew Deathbringer. Last words is it's a 3 cost 1/1, and it's going to be last word, destroy a random enemy follower. Again, kind of like, it's like trying to figure out what you want in your beautiful Fleeting Joy. When you play Fleeting Joy, what do you want to come out? But as a card by itself, it costs 3. It's a 1/1. It's a slightly less, like it's only a little bit more expensive than Lurching Corpse, right? So, but it's in the Machina, so that means you can get it from Fleeting Joy, which is really good. You can also play it by itself and then kill it off, and then it will take something off, like when you use Soul Conversion. So, and there's a lot of, there's a lot of cool things, and then it doesn't even have all the other weird things that Lurching Corpse has, like it can't attack the face. It can only attack face and wards. This one can actually trade it with the board. So I do like this a lot. And obviously, like I said, it's Machina Swords, Machina Shadow. So it's just really good to allow you to put that in there. It will come out. I'd almost just slightly would almost put this over like the Bone Drone, because the Bone Drone is actually really good because it does feed you the thing for the Techno Lord, but at the same time it usually gets traded off and it dies. But this one kills a random enemy follower. So if you guys know how much I hate Leod, and if you hate Leod, let me know in the comment section, because this guy would take out Leod, trading wise, right? He'll take him out. He does have last words. So I guess against Sword you might want to be careful, because then they'll just take his last words. But you know what I'm saying? Like there's a little bit there, but also killing a random enemy follower does help you just randomly kill something way bigger than he has any business taking out, which is what the Robo Zombie does. He's a Rush Bane, but now you have 2 versions of that, so more clearing in comparison to just Board Flood, which you're going to get that later anyway. I don't know. I think he's an interesting card. I'm going to switch him into my Machina Shadow and just give him a test, give him a feel. But I really think that he's going to be good, especially when he comes out on the Fleeting Joy, and they have to look at that card and say, well, it's going to kill one of my things. If I leave the Robo Zombie up, it's going to attack into one of my things. 2 threats on the board that insta-kill stuff that I think that the opponent will really have to be careful around. So I like it. Another Shadow Machina. So they just want to throw you these options. They're trying to like really mess with your head. So it's a 2/2 ward, which is fantastic. The fact that it's a Machina ward, again, Fleeting Joy, comes out and then blocks. Now this is kind of gonna like make you like, but I want the big board. I want the big board. But I'll read the rest of it, I promise. But a 2/2 ward that comes out alongside of the Mecha Wing Angel, which can drop 2 wards, is really safe when there's like storms and there's so much stuff. It just makes Shadow better to deal with like Cocytus, and I really like that, you know, in my personal opinion. But we do have it as a fanfare Necromancy 6, which I would say pretty safely that in Shadow Machina you don't really care about your shadows all too much. It doesn't really matter to you. So it's nice that we have something to use. Randomly put a copy of one of the highest cost allied Machina followers that has been destroyed this match into your hand. So I think the best option here with this is letting a Technolord kind of die. And then with this card, it's only fanfare, so that's when you play it from the hand, right? So you play this card and it comes back. Also, what's good about this is that you could play it and get Anea. I always forget how her name is pronounced. I apologize. But you can get her back if she's the 6 cost that was played. Getting like the turn 7 skull guy that you could print out and does 3 damage to non-machinas, it's pretty okay, but I really think that what you'd want is either of those two. Because Technolord is a lot of clear. You know, if you want to play him once, he dies. So also, if you burial right a Technolord, then you can also do that too, because sometimes people burial right him because he's just in the hand a little bit too early. I don't know what burial right they have that they would put in a Machina deck, but just saying it as an option. You burial right him early, so you have a card that can then get you 3, because you can play 3 of these, right? Play these 3 from the hand and get 3 Technolords. That sounds nuts for clearing, and eventually, you know, if you play Aranea, then he would get that, because I don't think Technolord would summon. Yeah, wait, let me double check that. Okay, so that is correct, because Technolord only summons the highest ally follower excluding himself. So he will keep summoning your 7, your 6. You know, if they make an 8, I don't think there's an 8 Machina neutral right at the moment, but he'll keep coming back, and then he'll summon himself. He'll summon your 6 or your 7 constantly. So it's really good if you want to use it for this, or just use it as an Accelerate 3. So this card, beautiful. Definitely, I think should go in the deck. Like I said, it's a ward, which is always good. Ward is always good all the time, in my personal opinion. I've never been in a game where it's like, damn, I can't believe I put a ward up. Like what? But its other effect is really good. You actually don't even want it for Fleeting Joy. You actually want to play it from the hand. It would be better. Also, let's keep in mind that when you play Cirrus and you use the Eternal Vow, it will be a 0 cost. 0 cost. And put a card in the hand. That's sick. This card's amazing. And here we go again, another card. We got the Bone Blast. Summon 3 skeletons. It's a 5 cost spell. Summon 3 skeletons. Deal damage to the enemy follower equal to the number of allied skeletons in play. This is like the wackest I've ever. Well, skeletons, if I'm not mistaken, are the 1/1s, but it's just like, okay, so it's 5 costs. I mean, it's not that bad. 5 costs. Put 3 bodies out in the field and deal 3 damage, potentially even more damage, right? Up to 5 damage. Not that bad. Obviously, this is like a reanimate necromancy kind of thing. You're putting a bunch of random bodies. You don't really care what they are. They all die. You get 3. You know, you're going to get your shadows up, whatever. But Machina just seems really strong. Reanimate seems okay, but I think Machina is just the way to go. So this card just seems like nice, high. That's cute, but yeah, let's just get with this. And that's all that we have today. And this was up to an hour. It's going to probably take me an hour to render this, but I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys are hype or scared. I think Forest is now, it's like they keep tangoing, and then like they pass the overpoweredness to like someone else. Like Blood in the last thing, they had a couple good things, but now Roach is back. I was thinking it would be funny if they put Roach. It was that other card that they put out that made me think that, oh, they might do Roach, because they keep talking about putting fairies in the hand, putting fairies in the hand, fairies in the hand. And the only one, if they're bringing back old cards that were really good, this is the only card I could have thought about that you would benefit putting fairies. Now with Cynthia, it just seems like, you're actually going to be able to free evo this guy, turn 7, free evo it, print him back into the hand. And then I guess if you're running the Carbuncle, you might even be able to early evo him just for the heck of it. But I feel like it might not work too much into evo Forest, but it might actually, maybe if you gear a deck towards it, because once it gets the X is 5, so once you've played this card 5 times, so you have 3 of them. Once you've played, 3 of them and then additional bounce back twice, then all of a sudden this card is coming out attacking with Storm and then comes right back. After that point, it's pretty much GG. You have a one cost card that's constantly attacking, coming back. Oh, well, sorry, attacking, that doesn't attack and come back, only if it evos, right? So it just comes out, does damage, and will sit there. You can kill it, right? But I'm trying to think if there's any other crazy stuff. If there's any other combos that I'm not thinking of, please let me know in the comment section below. And I will see you guys in the next video. And we're getting closer. I'm saving up so much. I'm going to do such a big summon of all the packs I got. It's going to be nuts. I hope you guys are there for that too. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.